Thoughts on the outing?
Yeah, I mean, felt good. Honestly, it felt a lot better than the first one. I felt back to normal. I felt like I was moving the fastball around. I felt like the changeup was really good. Getting a lot of good bad swings on it. Slider felt really good. It's just the pitch count got a little elevated there with some deep counts and some walks. But overall, I felt really good.
Did you think you go out for one more inning, or was it just like that pitch count got too high?
I felt like I had another one in me, but Craig made the decision that was enough.
You guys just look at the best teams in baseball. What was it like being able to win like today's was?
I mean, it was huge, especially extra innings come from behind like that. It's just that's a big win for sure. It felt like a playoff atmosphere.
What have you noticed just since you got here, just the vibe, atmosphere around this team as they've kind of gotten on this roll?
Yeah, I mean, the guys are coming in every day doing their job, and it's just really fun to watch, especially when you get those hitters rolling like Jackson is and Toddy obviously, and I don't know if I've ever seen a guy score from second base on a ground ball to first base. I mean, he's a special talent, so it's really fun to watch.
I know your intention is to go as deep as you can, but you worked so hard that last inning. They got this bullpen. I mean, this is kind of your first impression of that? Like, oh, wow, these guys can cover a lot of innings too.
For sure.
What is your thought about this whole bullpen situation?
Yeah, I mean, this is a great bullpen. They got great arms down there. They're able to cover multiple innings. So it's nice to have those guys down there for sure to pick you up when you do get an elevated pitch count earlier in the game.
What was that like?
Yeah, great baseball game. Exhausting, from my perspective, a little brain buster, but those are the games you live for. That's why we signed up for, and that's what makes playing this game so amazing, and especially when you come out on the good end of it. But our guys dug deep, bullpen dug deep. The guys in the lineup found a way to figure it out to score some runs, and we walked them off.
The play in the eighth that got you guys to the extras there, the hustle by your two guys, but there's probably not a better guy to have on second than Tatís if something like that's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. If you could put anybody out there on second base, him and Jace Bowen maybe, are two speedsters. And then, Fernando just has the instincts also to round it and just head for home. And, great hustle by Jake getting down the line. He just took advantage of a ground ball where the lefty pitcher, he's not falling off towards first base, and so he hustled it out. And huge play in the game, gave us a chance in extras, and then things kind of went our way.
They had some chances, and every time they had some chances, your bullpen seemed to find a way out of it. What do you make of the job the bullpen did, and specifically Morihone once he had already given up the lead to keep it where it was?
Yeah, exactly. I think the way the bullpen pitched was pretty amazing. We've been talking about how good they've been all year, but we've been using them a lot. And so it's not like they're the freshest guys in the world right now, but they're digging deep and making a ton of great pitches when it really matters. And, they're making great pitches the whole time, but when, they get that guy in scoring position, they are bearing down, and they're making great pitches, and honestly, it was why we won the game today.
I know you're one day at a time, but this is the end of a stretch with, I think, 26 and 27, and it went like 4.5 hours, and you can finally exhale ahead of tomorrow's off day.
Yeah.
What do you make of the way you have navigated that stretch? You added a couple pitchers obviously throughout it, but you had to kind of dig deep in the pitching staff.
Yeah, comparing it to the 17 games, prior to the All-Star break where we were 17 in a row, we finished both of those time periods playing really good baseball. We didn't succumb to we played so many in a row, we're tired, we're worn out. It's invigorated us, and it's showed us like we can handle about anything. And I think the struggles we had earlier in the year, probably helped us in these moments too. And then also the part of where we are in the standings. We really don't have the fortune to, take it easy. We've got to get after it, and the way that the players are responding to that, the way they're treating each other, the way they're caring about each other in the dugout, in the bullpen, in the clubhouse is a big reason why they've been able to energize themselves through this streak of a lot of games.
Dustin May's been pretty good against you guys this year. It seems like he's pitched a little tiny different each time. What did he do today?
Yeah, I think he's getting better. He's just a pitcher that's getting better. You see him, different times. When he first came up, he was just a huge sinker and a big sweeper, and now he's adding a cutter in, and he's able to throw a four-seamer with that. He's got a bunch of pitches in his repertoire, and today he threw a bunch of strikes. I think the only time we can really, get to him is when he's a little bit erratic and a lot of erratic in the strike zone, but he just wasn't that today. He pretty much mowed us down, and we just hung in there just enough to be able to have a chance.
What did you see out of Robbie? And obviously, when you took him out, you knew what you were putting your bullpen for. And with the day off tomorrow, you felt pretty good about it, obviously. But the way that you navigated the game after he left as well.
Yeah, I think having the day off on the back end is a big reason why Robbie could have probably won another inning. He was definitely struggling with command a little bit. Walked those 2 guys in the 4th inning, and then really bared down. It was almost just like a bullpen. Struck 2 guys out, and then got the last guy, got him out. So I felt like he expended a lot of energy in that last inning. It was close to 30 pitches in that inning. If we send him back out, we're gonna have somebody getting loose anyway. So I just felt like we had a rested bullpen from yesterday. We could go to him. I wasn't expecting to go deep in the game as we were, but the off day tomorrow is definitely going to help that.
There was a time Freddie could not get an ABS call right. Now he can't get one wrong. He got you 3 Ks today. Do you think that had anything to do with him being rattled too, or like what?
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, we're playing him, so we think he's healthy. We believe he's healthy. Sometimes the player's not always going to tell you the truth. We don't think he did that. We took care of him as best we can. But I think him learning the ABS system as we go is helpful. And I think both these catchers, like the first thing you want to fight for a pitch. They're used to framing pitches and fooling the umpire into calling a strike. And I think the ABS has changed that to where you can't fool the umpire anymore. It's got to be a strike. And I think they're learning that you can't, make a ball a strike anymore. It's got to be a strike, and I think they're taking advantage of that.
You're uniquely qualified to talk about Campy and his growth, and just the fact, like, what's it like for you to see him have this type of season and these type of moments?
Yeah, exactly. I think there was a time period where we weren't putting him in late in games, or we were a little worried about it, and we were trying to hold his hand through some of those times. And rightly so. He was young and coming up, and he was a really offensive catcher, and we had to help him out on defense. But I think his confidence has grown throughout the season. Once he got a few hits early in the year, it was like, oh yeah, I am a good big league hitter, and that's kind of carried on. And now the catching side is catching up to the offense, and him being able to throw that guy out at third, in extra innings was huge, and then the walk-off hit. He kind of showed his complete game today.